We are now entering the latter part of week 8 and entering into week 9, a little over a third into the fantasy season, as most leagues have playoffs in week 24 to 26. Kind of crazy to think that we've made it this far, but hopefully your team is producing the way that you've wanted to. But if not, I've got players in this video for you to add to bolster your roster and ultimately push your team into a playoff position. My name's Mike, and let's jump into the video. Starting us off with the highest owned player for this video, Joseph Woll of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know a lot of you think I'm a Leafs fan. I'm not, but I am a Joseph Woll fan. The goalies continue to be a mystery this season, and I have two others I'm going to be talking about, and they're just for different size leagues. And for Woll here, he is a goalie that I'd be looking to add in 10 plus team leagues right now. His roster percentage is getting up there quite a bit right now. We saw him at about 20% to start the season, but now he's just under 70. But Woll continues to see the bulk of the starts as of late, which means an early indication that hopefully he's starting to get that starting role from Ilya Samsonov, who has been absolutely horrendous this season. With Woll, he has a 916 save percentage and a 274 goals against average, top 10 in save percentage and top 15 in goals against average. Very respectable numbers from a goalie who's on a team that just doesn't have a very strong D-core, so he does face a lot of volume each and every night, but that's what you want from your goaltenders, especially for those who are in points leagues. I think the Leafs at some point, and I did say this a lot last year with the Edmonton Oilers when Jack Campbell was struggling and Stuart Skinner was coming up and was playing very well, at some point they're going to need to play their best goaltender if they want to win games, if they want to make the playoffs. But right now they're fighting for a playoff spot still early in the season. But with Joseph Woll, he's their best possible option each and every night, and it's going to be sooner rather than later when Joseph Woll begins to take the reins in that. And I think it's going to be about a 70-30 split because they still do like Samsonov there. But with Joseph Woll, he becomes a must-add player on a team that should get 40-plus wins this season. Although they don't defend well, that just means that Woll's can get a bunch of volume, and that's going to inflate his save percentage. For right now, he's a must-add in 10-plus team leagues. If you've owned him in your leagues, hopefully you held on to him or you tried to sell a little bit high on him. I'm definitely a Joseph Woll fan and someone you need to be adding to your team. I promise you this isn't just a goaltenders video, but the next player for this video, Pyotr Kochetkov. Now this is a little bit different of a situation where he's on a team that plays exceptional defense, but he doesn't get a lot of volume. So you may see a little bit higher or a little bit lower of a save percentage and a little bit higher of a goals against average. But with Kochetkov, he's going to get a ton of wins moving forward. Ranta's been struggling. He's been cold. He allowed 8 goals in his previous 4 games, and then his last game he allowed 8, so 16 over his previous 5 games, which means it's probably time that the Canes give the net over to Kochetkov, who has been extremely strong over his last 5 starts with just 8 goals against, and in those games he has 3 wins, and that's what we should see moving forward. This Canes team is easily a top 5 team for the rest of the season. They currently have the 11th best win percentage at 62%, but their overall stats have been exceptional. 60% Corsi for percentage, the best in the league, a 57% shots for percentage, best in the league, and almost a 56% expected goals for percentage, which is 3rd best in the league. This is the same thing we saw last season going, and then there's been really no difference going into this year. They have the best defenseman core in the entire NHL, maybe alongside Vegas, but they're an extremely deep team. They're going to be winning games and they're going to be defending extremely well, which should only boost the goaltending in Carolina. We have no timetable for return for Freddie Anderson. It could be for the rest of the season. So if you get a goaltender on the Carolina Hurricanes team that's going to get 50 wins this season, you can add him now at just 42% rostered. I know I mentioned Ranta, and goalies continue to be a mystery because it's just a matter of time before Kochetkov gives up 6-7 goals and then Ranta takes over the net. But for right now, he seems to be the starter, and he is a must-add player in 12-plus team league. At the time of recording, just 36% of you are subscribed to the channel. So if you've enjoyed the content so far, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the content that we're going to be pumping out for the rest of the season. In addition, we have updated our projections for the rest of the season. If you're interested in gaining access to that, head on over to our Patreon. The link will be in the description. If you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment in this video or simply message me on Discord. Let's jump back into the video, guys. Jumping over now to a defenseman, we have Noah Hanifin of the Calgary Flames. Yet another team that's just kind of in shambles and can't really decide on what they want to do with their lineup right now. They have Rasmus Andersson, who's played Power Play 1, Mackenzie Weegar's played Power Play 1, and as of recent, it's been Noah Hanifin has taken the reins on the top Power Play unit. Now, he doesn't really have exceptional peripherals. His shot volume's not bad, and his block volume's okay, but he doesn't hit a lot. But the reason why I like him is because he plays 22 plus minutes in a highly offensive role and skates on the power play 1. Any defenseman that's playing power play 1 should likely be rostered in 12 plus team leagues, especially on the Calgary Flames, who have a not bad power play relative to the rest of the league. But with Hanifin this season, 22 games played, 4 goals, 10 points, 3 points in the power play, 37 shots on net, and 103 shot attempts. The really good factor I saw here was the shot attempt rate. He ranks 22nd amongst all defensemen in shot attempts, and he's just most recently moved on the top power play unit. So hopefully we start to see the shot volume start to go up and the point volume start to go up a little bit more than what we've seen so far in the early going. His shooting percentage right now is a little bit inflated. There's really no worry with that because he is a defenseman. So it's not like he's going to have 30, 35 goals. So there's really no cause for concern there. I just want to see these assist numbers go up a little bit more than what we've seen. And that's probably justified by his 36% roster percentage. So this is a guy you want to be getting on the ground floor, and hopefully he can sustain that power play 1 role. One thing that Dawn noted to me about Noah Hanifin is that he rarely misses any time. So he's an extremely safe defenseman to pick up. You won't have to worry too much about injury, but no way my luck he's going to get injured after this video. But he's a speculative add in 12 plus team leagues. I know some of you guys probably have really strong decors, especially if you drafted Werenski and Matheson late, where I probably wouldn't be taking Hanifin over either of those players. But in 14 plus team leagues, there's likely a spot in your roster for a power play 1 defenseman that's just 36% rostered over on Yahoo, making him a must-add defenseman. JJ Peterka has been extremely good in the absence of Tage Thompson this season. He has stepped into a top 6 role and playing power play 1. And he's been extremely good. 9 goals, 17 points, 3 points on the power play, and he's shooting the puck at a great rate. 56 shots on goal and 106 shot attempts. Very strong numbers from a guy that's playing just under 16 minutes per night. But as of recent, since Tage Thompson's gone down with injury, we've seen Peterka's numbers scale up and up and up, and he's now playing just under 17 minutes per night, which is what you want to see from a forward with this much upside. Peterka was a point per game player in the AHL, a former second-round pick back in 2020. He's a very highly touted prospect and does have the upside to score 30 goals in an NHL season. Right now, amongst all forwards, he has the 33rd best goal rate, the 54th best shot rate, and the 50th best shot attempt rate. Now, these numbers may not pop out to you, but amongst all forwards, he has top 50 in 3 offensive stats that I like to use for justifying why you should be adding players. But now adding that he's playing power play 1 role and more minutes, hopefully we start to see these numbers rise. Right now with Peterka, he's a must-add player in 12 to 14 plus team leagues. It really depends on how deep your leagues are, but we just have status that Tage Thompson will be out for a little bit longer. There's no timetable for his return right now. They're hoping for the best, which tells me that he's going to be out for another 2 to 3 months, making JJ Peterka an extremely good add for the next little bit. Hopefully he can take the reins, move up to the top line, start playing 17 to 19 plus minutes per night in a power play 1 role, and we start to see these offensive stats rise higher than what we've seen so far this season. Ukko-Pekka Luukonen is the next must-add player for this video, and I promise you he's the last goalie for this video. Goalies, again, just a complete mystery this season. Devin Levi was the guy that I was high on going into the year. I just figured he would get a ton of volume in Buffalo and claim that #1 role. He didn't. He was injured. He came back, wasn't good, and now he's been loaned to the AHL, and it's time for Ukko-Pekka Luukonen to step in and claim that #1 role on a Sabres team that's been desperate to find a solution in the crease. With Ukko-Pekka Luukonen this season, 9 starts, a 6-3-1 record, a .918 save percentage, and a .254 goals against average. His ranks amongst all goaltenders, and it was extremely surprising to me to see this. A .918 save percentage ranks him 6th amongst all goalies. A .254 goals against average ranks him 10th. And he leads the NHL with an .886 high danger save percentage. Very, very strong numbers from a goaltender who's on a team that gives up a ton of shots and a ton of chances. So moving forward, the outlook for UPL, ton of volume, maybe 70-75% start share, and hopefully he can sustain over a .910 save percentage and under a .280 goals against average and start to rack up wins. But right now, we do know the Sabres have been struggling a little bit. Their best players out for maybe 2 to 3 months. We don't really know how long. We don't know the timetable. But when Tage comes back, hopefully UPL still has control over the net and can be an extremely good long-term ad for you. Right now, I would say he's an add in 12 to 14 plus team leagues. It's a little bit situational because the Sabres do give up a ton of chances, and I'm not sure if his numbers are super sustainable right now. So in the categories leagues, goals goals against average and save percentage leagues. I'm not sure if I would be adding him right now in 12 plus team leagues unless your goaltending has failed, like most teams probably are, including mine right now. But in the 14 plus team leagues, he should definitely be rostered. You all knew Sam Bennett was going to make this video. I'm going to keep talking about him until I see that roster percentage go to 50%. I said the same thing about Matheson. I'm going to say it about Sam Bennett. I think he's a league winner, and I still do this season. I'm really shocked to see that his ownership percentage is at just 18%. I was looking at someone like Riley Smith, who's at 51% right now, which is shocking to me. But with Sam Bennett in 2022, he was one of just 3 players with 11 plus shots per 60 and 7 plus hits per 60. The other 2 players, Evander Kane, who has been a league winner this year, and Brady Tkachuk, who year after year is one of the most productive fantasy players in the entire NHL. When Sam Bennett's healthy, he is a top 75 player. He's going to give you 4 shots and 4 hits each and every night while getting really good offensive opportunity. And why I liked him so much going into this season is because of what we saw in playoffs last year in the most important games for the Florida Panthers. Sam Bennett was skating on the top power play unit. He was hitting, he was shooting, he was getting all the offensive opportunity, and that's now what we're seeing since his return. He's skating on line 2 with Matt Tkachuk, who has been struggling offensively, but is still shooting the puck at an absolutely insane rate. But he is also on the top power play unit, and the Florida Panthers had a top 3 power play last season, and there's no reason for them to get back to that rate this year. He's playing 18 plus minutes per night in a very highly offensive role. Over his last 5 games, he did struggle out the gate, no points in his first 5 games, but over his last 5 games, 3 points, 2 points on the power play, 15 shots, 31 shot attempts, 21 PIMs, 10 hits, and almost 18 minutes per night. This is what you want to see from Sam Bennett, and this is the production that you're going to get from him moving forward. A very good shot rate, very good hit rate mix. If you're in a PIMS league, I own him in a PIMS league. He's extremely good, and he plays good minutes in a highly offensive role. Sam Bennett is a must-add in 12 plus team leagues. I know the center position is full, but you can't get a floor this high, this low rostered on Yahoo. I love Sam Bennett. I still think he's a league winner, someone I'm extremely high on. Hopefully he can prove us all right here. And if you do own him, let me know if you held him or if you've added him recently. Finally, the last player for this video, this is more of a deeper league guy, Jake Neighbours of the St. Louis Blues, a former first round pick, a top, I think he went 26th overall. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. This is his 3rd NHL season, his first full NHL season, and recently his value has been skyrocketing. He has recently moved up to a top line role and currently skating on the top power play unit, playing around 16 plus minutes per night. He's added 3 goals, 8 shots, and 12 hits in that time. Now his shooting percentage is extremely high right now, so there is some caution, but in deeper leagues, he's just 9% roster. You're going to get a guy that's playing a top line role and a top power play role, and there's not much of that available, especially in like 14 to 16 plus team leagues. Again, former first round pick. He's a point per game player in the AHL last season. And for me, with Neighbours, the more opportunity equals better production. If you see a guy that's getting 16 plus minutes, career high minutes in a way better offensive role, line 1, power play 1, the production is going to follow suit. He has just 1 assist this season. He's currently the Kirill Marchenko that we saw last year, where he scored a bunch of goals and didn't get any assists. Eventually, those assists are going to catch up, especially on the top power play unit. His shooting percentage high, so I would caution a little bit. But in 14 plus team leagues, this is definitely a guy you want to take a look at and try making room for him on your roster. That will do it for the Week 9 must-add players video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.